Larry, Leslie, Linda, Lucy, Leroy. Ah, here you come. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Levi, Lamech. 6, 7. Luke. 8, 9. Lydia. Ah, there we go. 10. All there. Oh, counting sheep makes you sleepy. I'm just going to sleep here.
Why, aye, Lion, it's me, your mate, Monkey.
Oh, hello, Monkey.
What you up to?
I was just looking at my sheep through this window here.
Looking at your sheep through the window? Can I have a look?
I suppose so.
It's funny, if they're your sheep, why are they cowering in the corner?
They know I'm long-sighted and they want me to see them.
You never wear glasses?
No.
So, why are you looking at them through this tiny window when there's a perfectly good door around the corner?
Oh, doors. Doors are overrated. In fact, could you just give me a hand while you're here? Could you just give me a leg up over the wall?
A leg up over the wall? When there's a perfectly good door? I don't believe these are your sheep. I'm off.
Oh. Oh, I really could have done with some lamb.
I tell you the truth, the man who does not enter the sheep pen by the gate, but climbs in by some other way, is a thief and a robber. The man who enters by the gate is the shepherd of his sheep. The watchman opens the gate for him, and the sheep listen to his voice. He calls his own sheep by name and leads them out. When he has brought out all of his own, he goes on ahead of them, and his sheep follow him because they know his voice, but they will never follow a stranger. In fact, they will run away from him because they do not recognize a stranger's voice. Jesus used this figure of speech, but they did not understand what he was telling them. Therefore Jesus said again, I tell you the truth, I am the gate for the sheep, and all who ever came before me were thieves and robbers, but the sheep did not listen to them. I am the gate, whoever enters through me will be saved. He will come in and go out and find pasture. The thief comes only to steal and kill and destroy. I have come that they may have life and have it to the full. This is the word of the Lord.
Today, we looked at a story from the Bible all about a shepherd. Now, for my shepherd, I used Mr. Noah from my daughter's Ark set. But you'll notice that the shepherd, unlike British shepherds, he was calling his sheep by name. This was perfectly normal in biblical times. His sheep, who looks very much like all the other sheep, he knew each one by name. He could tell the difference between them, and this was just absolutely normal. And then when they were all inside, he would sleep in the doorway because he was the door, and nothing could get to the sheep unless it came through him. So that's why the lion, who was looking in the window, he found that the window was obviously too small, and he knew that if he came round to the door, he couldn't get into the sheep without waking up the shepherd, and the shepherd wouldn't let him in. In fact, the shepherd would probably kill him. So the lion is trying to get over the wall. Now, the only reason anyone would try and climb over a wall when there's a perfectly good door is because they don't want to be seen. So you should never trust anybody who wants to climb over a wall unless they've got a really good excuse or they're doing an assault course. But Jesus' point here was not just to tell people about shepherding in the times, because everybody he was speaking to already knew this stuff. Jesus was saying, I am the shepherd. I am the doorway into the safe place. And the only proper way into the safe place is through me. Anyone who goes any other way or tries to tell you some other way of how to get into heaven, they're telling you how to get over the wall. They're not telling you how to get in through the door, because that's where I am. So that is why you must always listen to Jesus and not anyone who tells you anything that doesn't sound like something Jesus would say. Right, I thought it would be nice if we had a craft activity to go along with today's story. And I thought, wouldn't it be lovely to make a sheep? Here's one I made earlier. Right, the easiest way to make a sheep is using cotton wool. I don't have any cotton wool. If you do have cotton wool, simply use Pritt Stick to make your toilet roll sticky and then cover it with cotton wool. If you don't have any cotton wool, you can cover it with toilet paper. It's quite a tricky process. What you have to do is you get a sheet of loo roll, you scrunch it up, you tear it in half, you lay it out on top of itself, you scrunch it up, and you tear it in half again. Right, you then take the bits you have and lay them one there, one there, one there, and one there. You then scrunch all of that up, like so. So it's nice and scrunchy. You then lay it over the top of your toilet roll. You can peel off the existing paper, but there's not a lot of point because you're going to cover it anyway. You then get some white thread and you basically just tie it on. It's that simple. Make a knot of some form. I'm going to use a slip knot. Slightly luck, because that way I can just pop it over the top and then tighten it up afterwards. Right, that goes round the middle of your scrunched up loo roll, and then I can just pull that tight. Like so. And then, oh, I've missed a bit there. That's why it's handy to have a slip knot, because you can just open it up and close it down again. That didn't go very well. Right. Yeah, you need to try and get that in the middle. Once it's in the middle, then tighten it. And now once it's reasonably tight, you simply pinch it together to stand it up. And I'm obviously not going to film the making of an entire sheep because that would be an exceedingly long video, but from that you can see how it's formed. And you can simply either tie it off or just make another loop and carry on. And then I found that to do the entire toilet roll took 10 of these. So 10 sheets of loo roll, all scrunched up just like that. And you put them all on, measure them out, and then you end up with the tube. Right, I'll now demonstrate with these how I made the next part. The next part I did was the head. Now the head is made from rather a lot more toilet roll. You get quite a few sheets, probably about 10ish. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Right, again you want to scrunch it up from one end. Try and keep it nicely scrunched in the middle. Right, that needs to be scrunched up like that. Right, you'll need, again, you need the thread. So now I find the best knot for this is a clove hitch. So you make a loop, not terribly easy to see I'm sure, and then you make another loop, and then you put the first loop over the second loop, and then you just pick up the whole thing, trying to keep the ends safe. And this is a knot which, as you pull it tight, remains nice and tight. So you take the scrunch you have, allow it to sort of go round in a little circle, pop the loop over the whole thing, and then when it's in there you just pull the two ends, and when it's nice and tight that will stay. You can use scissors to separate that, but then you'll need an adult to help you. Right, once you've done that, you simply spread it nicely one side, and you spread it round the other side. You turn it inside out, and you shove it through the toilet roll and out the other end just far enough to be a head, whereon you get a Sharpie marker. Where's my I'm going to use a crayon because my Sharpie marker isn't here, and you can mark on eyes and a face. I really wish my Sharpie marker was here. Here's one I did with a Sharpie marker. It worked a lot better. Right, now the back of the sheep, you'll notice, has fleece much like the front had, and that was created with toilet paper, believe it or not. 5 sheets of toilet paper to be precise. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now what I did was very similar to the head of the sheep, but obviously it didn't need to be quite so big. So this is why I'm using it side on like this. You simply scrunch up the entire length of all 5 sheets. There we go. Right, then sort of roll it in on itself. There we go. Right, take some cotton. Where are we? Here's a bit I snapped earlier. Tie that around there. Right. I'll just tie that with a knot this time. There we go. Right, that you should be able to fluff out nicely at the top and at the bottom like a big ruff. And then what you do is whichever one looks slightly larger, unless you got it bang on, you wrap over the top and then you just shove it in the back. Simple as. And it looks very much similar to the rest of the body of the sheep. Here's one I did earlier, and you'll see it just fits in there like a little plug. Now the legs of the sheep, because everything else is made from toilet roll, I decided to make them from toilet roll as well. So here's the toilet roll. Take that off. Right, what I did was I got scissors. You can use bigger ones. Cut the toilet roll in half. Cut it completely in half. Cut each half in half. Right, you then roll it in a pen. Right, this is just to make it nice and curly. Then, having made it nice and curly, you then roll it just a little bit tighter. And then when you get the body of your sheep, here's another one. By the way, if you happen to have a toilet roll that's already covered in paper, you could just rub that up and say it's a sheared sheep. That would save a lot of problem. Right. All you need to do is use a pen. Be very careful. In fact, get an adult to do this probably, because what you need to do is make sure your fingers aren't where the pen is and push it through the toilet roll. When it's gone right through the toilet roll, you'll find that because you've re-rolled this ever so slightly smaller, it should fit through the hole, and there you have it. A leg. Repeat 4 times. There we go, and you'll see under here all of my thread and my 4 legs and my head and my bottom, and there you have it, a sheep.